and welcoming you to gentle yoga as we get started in our upright seated posture. Finding that way to sit that feels stable, supported. Right, maybe getting any wiggles or squiggles out of the body. You might just take a moment to make sure that you have everything you need. 2 blocks, a strap, some water. And then coming to sit either with the legs in an easy seat posture crossed in front of you, like you've got going on both of the Goldens, that's good. Or a Virasana posture with the legs folded underneath, maybe sitting up on the edge of a block. Right, so even just coming up onto these blocks like this could be a nice way to stretch those quads a little bit, Mary Jo. And welcoming you, Larry. For you, softening the gaze or even closing the eyes. Softening your gaze, closing the eyes, and beginning to bring your attention inward. Maybe you rest a hand on the heart and a hand on the belly. And begin to feel the movement of your breath in this moment right now. Taking some breaths together, perhaps the first few breaths you've noticed in a while. Let's see if we can savor 5 breaths in a row. Savoring the in-breath and the out-breath equally. Making this promise to ourselves to take care of ourselves throughout the class today. And that goes for me too. Taking care of yourself as we move through this session today. Opening the arms out to the sides, taking a nice stretch here, lifting the heart. Arms are all right, somehow this guy does not seem to be working today. Very unfortunate. Can you hear me now? All right. We're going to go lower quality audio, and I'm so sorry for that, guys. So let's go ahead and come back to where we were. And let me know if you can still hear me or if at any time the audio becomes a problem. So opening the arms out nice and wide. Take a big breath in. Exhale, give yourself a hug. Inhale, open wide. Exhale, hug opposite arm on top. Be here for yourself today. Inhale, open wide. Push the chest forward. Exhale, opposite arm on top. And one last one. Inhale, open. Exhale, give yourself a hug. This time, tuck. Again, bringing that attention inward and noticing the back of your neck, back of your shoulders for a moment. Good. And then from here, release the arms and crawl forward onto your hands and knees. Okay, so crawling forward onto your hands and knees. And as I mentioned, I won't really be modeling some of these poses today. Instead, I will be watching you without judgment. Okay, so coming to your hands and knees, finding your strong tabletop pose. That's good. From here, beginning to move the spine. See if you can tie the movement with the breath. Inhale, sinking the belly, lifting the head and heart. Exhaling and rounding the back. Moving back and forth with the inhalation and the exhalation. Remembering that your head is a natural extension of the spine, so the head will move as well. Inhale, sink the belly, lift the heart and head. Yeah, and then rounding and tucking that chin. So Ted, see if you can bring a little more movement into your head and to your neck. Yeah, that's good. As you arch the back, lift the head a little bit. That's perfect. Moving back and forth just a few more times at your own pace. Beautiful. And then let's go ahead and stretch the right leg out behind you. Stretching that right leg out behind you, toe on the ground, rocking forward, rocking back. Taking your gaze to the top of your mat, knowing you can use blocks at any time for those wrists. Okay, we're going to lift that right heel up and slowly cross that leg off of the edge of your mat to the left. Take a peek over that left shoulder. See if you can breathe into the right side body. Right, so Judy S. Bring the eyes of the elbows to point to face each other. So you're kind of hyperextending the elbows. That makes sense. Good. Come on back. And we're going to switch sides. Left leg long, rock forward, rock back. Cross that toe off of that right edge of your mat. Beautiful. Over the right shoulder and see if you can breathe into the left side body. That's good. Come on back to center, and then we'll take a child's pose. Take a child's pose. Maybe you circle the wrists on the way there or when you're in child's pose. If child's pose seems not accessible for you today, maybe you bring a block under the forehead, under the torso. Finding your breath. And then coming back up nice and slow to your tabletop pose. In your tabletop pose, take a look down at your hands, right underneath you, and spread the fingers nice and wide. And then notice where the insides of your elbows are facing. If they are facing straight out, see if you can turn your elbows so that the eyes of the elbows face each other. Does that make sense, Judy? It doesn't work for you. So you're going to modify any way you need to. Okay, and that might mean turning the fingers so that they actually come out a little bit towards the edges of the mat. If you have tender wrists, this might actually save you a little bit. All right, so just do what you can, and then we'll come up to downward facing dog. Maybe you grab onto blocks. Coming up to downward facing dog. Tucking the toes under, lifting the hips. Pedaling the feet out. one by one. Lifting those hips a little higher, Judy B. A little more space between the feet. That's good. Really good. And down dog can be hard for building that upper body strength. That's great. While rippling forward to your high plank, maybe it's very brief. Maybe you bring the knees down right away, or maybe you want to stay for a big breath in and exhale all the way down to the belly if it's in your practice today. Good, all the way down to the belly. Hands frame the rib cage, and we're taking 3 baby cobra pulses. Inhale, lift the head and heart. Exhale, release back down. That's good. Forehead rest. Inhale, lift and squeeze the shoulder blades together. Exhale, release back down. Inhale, lift. And now go ahead and let yourself rest for just a couple breaths, cheek to mat. Arms can rest at the sides, all the way lengthwise down the body. Maybe you bend the knees and wash the feet from side to side. And that's a wonderful way to loosen the hip flexors and the low back. And could even feel good for those quads too. All right, let's go ahead and slowly peel ourselves up and come to balance on the knees for just a moment. Coming to balance on my knees for just a moment. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna step 1 foot forward, tuck the back toe under and push your way up. Come right back down. Balance on both knees. Step the other foot forward, tuck the back toe under and push your way up. Come right back down or stay lifted if this is too much for your knees. Okay, Barbara, you might want to skip this. We're gonna just do 1 more on each side. Pushing your way up, coming back down. It's really good for us to practice how we get up off the ground. Good, thank you for taking care of yourself there, Barbara. So let's go ahead and come up to your standing mountain pose. You're going to roll the wrist. Notice some wrist tenderness across the wrist. Good. Take it out. Open the arms out to the sides with a little extra space. We're going to take a slow windmill twist to the right. Let the hips go with you. Sitting up front and moving here. Come back to center. Inhaling. Exhale, twist to the left. Release back to center and just flow from one side to the next with the breath. That's good. Seeing a lot of good spinal rotation movement in our group. And you might take 1 more on each side. And then as you come back to center, go ahead and give yourself 1 more hug. Maybe again, you tuck the chin and breathe into the back of the neck. Inhale, open wide. Exhale, give yourself another hug. If it felt good, tuck the chin. And then releasing out of this, we'll roll the shoulders up, back, and down a few times. Roll the shoulders up, back, and down. Arms at the sides. That's good. Maybe you go the other direction. All right, guys. And then releasing from this. Let's go ahead and take a little sip of water if you need it, and then grab a block between the thighs. Totally optional. If you don't want to use the block, that's fine. Taking that block between the legs, a little light squeeze. Do you feel the stability there? Right? Just from squeezing the block. And from squeezing the block, ascending into my core, I feel the stability, opening the heart, lifting that chest. Shoulders are back and down. And that chin is nice and level. That's beautiful, Carol. Really beautiful posture. Excellent, Barbara. Maybe the hands rest at the sides, with the palms facing a little bit towards the front of the body, energy through the fingertips. Anchored in the present moment. And then from here, guys, we're just going to sink down into our chair pose. So I'll bend my knees gently and bring my hips back. And then the arms can reach forward. Notice if you have the weight on the inside or outside edge of the feet. See if you can kind of grip the mat like a suction cup, imagining the arch of the foot is a suction cup. Inhale, lift, and straighten everything. Exhale, sink down. Inhale, lift, and straighten. Exhale, sink down. And we'll take one more inhale, lift. Exhale, sink into your chair pose, palms facing each other, if that would feel okay. Those palms face each other. And we're slowly coming up and out of the chair pose. Block away. Taking space between feet. Inhale the right arm up. Exhale, reach to the left. Inhale the left arm up. Exhale, reach to the right. Other side, inhaling. Exhale. Last one, inhale. Exhale. Good, and then releasing. Back to center, I'm going to grab my strap and just take the strap behind the back. Take the strap behind the back. See how that would feel? So there's a little bit of resistance that you're pulling on the strap. My palms are facing backwards. Yeah, make that adjustment for me, Mary Jo. Perfect. Getting all the straps sorted out here. It's just one of those hectic moments. And then we're going to lift the strap up away from the back body. It's beautiful, Vicky. And releasing it back down. Inhale, lift. Exhale, release. Noticing if one side is doing more of the work than the other. And that's not a bad thing. It's probably pretty natural. And releasing down. We'll take two more. Inhale. Exhale. Good. Last one. Release. And then we'll do a couple more side bends with a little bit of strap support. So bringing that strap into that V shape above the head. A little bit of distance between the feet is helpful for me. And then taking that stretch to the side without losing the anchoring down through the feet. Moving from side to side at your own pace. Nothing feels better to me than this stretch sometimes for moving the muscles between the rib cages. Good. One more on each side. Not necessarily about how far you can go, but lengthening it. And we'll release. And let's do just 3 more of those strap lifts behind the back. A little bit of repetition here. Inhale, lift. There's a less space between the hands for the second set. So we're building this openness of the chest. It's good, Ted, just lifting that strap up away from the back body and keeping the chin level with the earth. That's good. And one last one. So good for posture, right? To be opening the shoulders. So we're coming out of this hunched posture that we developed just as a process of being humans on the earth, and begin to open. And so many other wonderful things happen when we feel open in the body, feel open in other ways, express ourselves, et cetera, et cetera. Somebody was asking for quad stretches. And so I'd like to just share a simple quad stretch with you. You can take hold of the wall or something nearby if you would like. If you're feeling really balanced today, maybe you don't need it. I'm just going to literally bend one knee and reach and find that foot or even pant leg if that is not available to you. So I just kind of folded this leg. That's good. Seeing if once again I can keep that chin level with the earth. So you're not looking down at me, Ted. Just look out the window or something. Yeah, good. Breathing into this, Mary Jo, could feel like quite a stretch for you. And if you're working towards your balance, you could just lift that opposite arm straight out in front for fun, or out to the side. Maybe it's a millisecond. You take it off the hutch, right? And then place it back down. And then we'll release and switch sides. It's good. Finding your piece of furniture. Maybe it's a beautiful armchair. I love it, Carol. Grabbing onto the back of the other foot. Maybe it's the pant leg. Maybe do a little hop dance. That's fine too. You can incorporate a balance challenge for yourself into this stretch. By no means necessary. Yeah, and maybe this leg is just not quite as accessible, and that's okay too. Big breath in. Coming back to the top of your mat, and just taking that little hip rotation movement, we come to incorporate into most of our classes. Stepping up and over the hurdle, up and over the hurdle, starting from the outside, working your way in. And then the opposite arm could move in the opposite direction as we begin to build coordination, agility. You could do this quickly if you like, and that is a way to build agility, going a little faster. But it is by no means necessary if you're not feeling it. And then from here, we'll come back and take one more quad stretch on each side. One more quad stretch on each side. Maybe this side you get a little deeper. Maybe you can, kind of push the heart forward and lift that foot up away from the back body a little bit. Breathing in, breathing out, soft bend to the standing leg. That's beautiful, both Judys. And releasing and taking the other side. Take care of yourself there. Carol G, you could do a little down dog at the chair, right? Take the hands to the back of the chair, walk yourself back, stretch that back. Good. And then release. I don't think I've ever seen those tattoos on your leg there, Walter. And releasing. I love them. I love them. Okay. Let's do some more traditional yoga asanas now. Okay, so you're going to come to your warrior one pose with the right foot forward and the left foot back at a little bit of an angle. We're going to let the hips kind of be free here, bending and straightening into the right knee a few times. Right, for me, as someone with a tender back, typically, I I sometimes really feel a lot of pressure in my low back when I do this. So if that's you, you could reach forward a little bit with the torso. You don't have to be perfectly upright in your warrior one. Okay? From here, I'll hook my thumbs together in front of the body and inhale the arms up, stretching through the fingertips and grounding down through both feet. That's good. All right, see if you can just find your breath. So Ted, you're gonna keep that chin lifted. I'm gonna tell you again. Good. Really nice, guys. Slowly bring the hands to heart center and see how it would feel to step up to the top of your mat slowly. All right, and releasing and switching sides. Left foot forward, right foot back. A little bit of an angle, this side could feel different. Bending and straightening into that front knee, and I feel this beautiful opening in my right hip. Keeping that left knee bent, now I'll hook the opposite thumb on top and inhale my arms up. If I'm having shoulder mobility issues today, I might not go all the way. So remember that finish line tape? We were pretending we were busting through. I'd like to sort of feel that here too with the chest. Right, and if I'm caring for my back, I might reach forward a little bit as well. Take some of the pressure off the lumbar spine. That's good. Can you find one more breath with me? And then release the hands to heart center and see what it would feel like to step up to mountain pose slowly. All right, guys. Now we're going to take a high lunge. So it's very much like a warrior one, except now all 10 toes are facing the top of the mat. And the back heel is lifted. So this is where our hips can be a lot more straight towards the top of the mat. But it is a little bit more challenging for balance. So you might want to bring a little space between the feet. And I really like to encourage that engagement of that left glute muscle. You can reach back and give yourself a little glute pat. I remember doing that in a live class once and hearing all the thwapping. So from here, I'm going to open my arms out to the sides. As I inhale, see how it would feel to straighten the front leg, bring the arms up. Exhale, sink back down. Good. Inhale, lift. Exhale, sink back down. If you're feeling shaky, just stay in pose. Inhale, lift. Exhale, sink back down. One more breath with me, and as you exhale, twisting to the right, your right. Twisting to the right, 1 degree, maybe 2 degrees. That's good. Palms face away from the body. Other way, that's good, Tim. Come back to center, nice and slow, windmill back to center, and then we'll take those hands together and take that slow step up to the top of the mat. Maybe even a little kick. Figure out. Left foot forward, right foot back. And Carol, if your back is really aching today, you take that downward facing dog, that child's pose for me. So high lunge, left foot forward, right foot back, all 10 toes to the top of the mat, back heel lifted. Finding that nice stability there, maybe widening the base a little bit. Open your arms. Inhale, straighten, lift the arm. Exhale, sink down. Maybe it's a really small motion. Inhale, lift. Exhale, sink. Good, Carol. Inhale, lift. Exhale, sink. Engaging that right glute muscle. Take a breath in. As you exhale, take that mini twist to the left. Twist to the left. And keep over that left shoulder. Twisting to the left. That's good, Ted. Finding your balance, keeping the chin lifted. Come back to center, hands to heart center. Yeah, and this is tough here, so let's take it slow as we step to that one-legged mountain pose and maybe take a little kick. And then maybe you want to take a couple kicks on each side, just kick it out. Right. Nice job, guys. I cannot wait to be back in person, I gotta tell you. And I don't know, well, how you'll join. I guess we'll have a hybrid class option, you know? Or you could just visit me sometime. I'm gonna take lots of space between my feet. I'm coming into some wide-legged poses now. We know them well, but as one of my teachers says, there's nothing so sophisticated as the fundamentals. So bearing that in mind, there's always something new to learn, right, Judy? Yes, we were talking about that one time. I'm gonna turn my right toes to the right and angle my left foot in as I come to my warrior two. Maybe today I flow a little bit more, if that's what I need. Or maybe today I stay in the static pose if that's what I need. Okay, so keeping that right knee over the right ankle, and then lifting my arms out equally in both directions. Palms face down. Turn the gaze over the right hands. Turn that gaze over the right hands. You might reach forward a little bit. You might reach back a little bit, moving the torso only. Torso only. See how that feels. And then find the sweet spot that's the middle, right? So Larry, you might be able to come back a little bit with your torso, reaching back a little bit more. Yeah, that's good. And then turn the gaze back over the right hand. Let's flip the right hands. Inhale, trace the ceiling. Maybe that right leg straightens as well if you're feeling like that right leg needs a break. You're coming back to warrior two. Inhale, straighten the leg, reverse the warrior. Exhale, warrior two, and we'll take just one more. Inhaling, and exhale, sink down. And then from here, we'll bring the hands to the hips. All 10 toes side of your mat. I'm going to take a slow hip circles. Both legs are straight, both toes pointing in the same direction. So the knees are not moving really. It's just my hips. See if you can imagine the top of that thigh bone going into the hip socket, like an orange in an upside down coffee cup. And what you're doing right now is just lubricating. And if you feel any grinding or anything like that, please stop what you're doing. You might have less cartilage in this area due to osteoarthritis. All right, now we'll take those other poses, those same poses on the other side, left toe to the left. Ankle the right foot in. Bend and straighten that left knee a few times. And then when you're ready, reaching your wings out equally in both directions. Turning the gaze over that left hand. You might reach forward a little bit and then reach back with just the torso only. And this gets kind of tricky, but when we start to do more yoga, we have more range in this part of the body. That's perfect, really good, Larry. Taking that peek over the left hand, finding that sweet spot in the middle. We'll flip the left hand, inhale, trace the ceiling, maybe straightening that left leg and sinking back down. Good. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, sink. And last one, reverse the warrior. I like what's happening over at your house, Goldens. You're doing opposite directions. It's like synchronized. Beautiful, beautiful. Good. Hands coming to the hips. all 10 toes towards me. You could take a hip rotate, you could take a hip circle, or you could do a wide-legged forward fold. Hands sliding down the legs. And sliding down the legs, just very slowly coming down. Maybe you use a piece of furniture, like you turn and you just use the chair in front of you or the couch. That might be nice. No pressure, of course, if you're turning towards the chair. Maybe the hands go a little farther down. Maybe you have a soft bend to the knee. Keeping your breath here. Wide-legged forward fold. That's what we're doing. Wide-legged forward fold. Or yeah, Larry, you're gonna rock a goddess for me. I love it. And then slow travel back up. Walk it out. Take your hip rotation dance to the very back of your mat. Very back of your mat. And then coming to the back of that mat, we'll try the balance beam or walk the line exercise, feet together. Here's Judy B. Feet together. We're gonna take the arms out to the sides and just heel toe it to the top of the mat. Okay, so don't worry about what I'm doing or anything on the computer. Just noticing your own feet pressing down and being in your own space now. Once you get to the top, see how it would feel to take a breath and then slowly go to the back of the mat. The front and to the back at your own pace. Just walk in that balance beam. This is really easy for you. You get gold stars, of course. Maybe you close the eyes a little bit and open the eyes and see how that impacts you. It's amazing. We were talking about balance at the beginning of the class. How balance really does change as we age. And there are real long lists of reasons why. You know, we do just tend to dry out a little bit. And so that might mean that a lot of parts of our bodies are not as sort of lubricated and flexible. But once you come back to the top of your mat, you can stay there. Take that sip of water if you need it. Well, you only missed a balance beam. Or maybe you just didn't notice, and that's fine. Okay, so let's take a balance pose. I'd love for us to try a tree pose today. If there's some other balance pose you're just dying to do, please don't let me stop you, okay? So we're gonna take the weight in, take a little bendy bounce, and then maybe you even turn away from the screen today and you don't worry about what you're seeing on the screen. Maybe you find somewhere else to gaze that's not moving. Yeah, I mean, not necessary, but just an option. I'm gonna take that bendy bounce and pour my weight into the right foot. Pick up the left heel and open the knee to the side. Maybe you can bring the foot up onto the calf or thigh. Don't force it. I'm gonna bring my hands to heart center. Just gently encourage my belly towards my spine. If it's not happening for you today, try just standing on one leg. Chin is level with the earth. Again, chin is level with the earth. Lift the gaze, Ted. Good. Maybe the arms rise or maybe you come out of it. Your choice. You could stay longer or you could leave. All right, Judy's. When you're ready to come out slow. And I can see a lot of progress with our trees. Over at the Golden's house, for example. Little bendy bounce. I'm gonna bring the weight now into my left foot. Pick up my right heel, open the knee to the side. Find your point of contact. It could be different on this side. So finding that point of contact, and I have to say I'm so sorry, but it's anywhere but the knee. Anywhere but the knee, okay? So hands to heart center. Keeping that gaze lifted, Ted. Yeah, beautiful. If you come out of it, come right back into it. It's no big deal. Maybe you grow your branches, maybe you stay where you are. Belly towards the spine. I don't know what you guys are having for breakfast over there, Goldens, but you're looking really strong today. Slow moving out when you're ready, or you could stay where you are. I love it, Larry. Getting a little dancer's pose in and releasing and kicking it out. All right, just a little round of applause for your balance today. Yay, beautiful. Pat yourself on the back. Rub the hands together, roll the wrists. We're going to come down into a seated posture. So however you want to get there, if you still have a little juice or gas in the tank, you could try a few more of those. Get down, get up, staggering one foot back, dropping the back knee down, balancing on both knees. Maybe you sit down, maybe you stand back up, right? Maybe you're ready to wind down. Yeah, while we're here, that's a good idea. The nieces in Colorado, doing a little camel stretch. Okay, so if you got knee issues, Barb, you're gonna skip this one. You might just rest, balance on your knees for just a moment. Put your hands in your back pocket. Squeeze the elbows together. Maybe this is all you do. Maybe you can kind of pull the thighs towards each other and lean back a little bit, lift the heart. The chin is level with the earth, or if you felt okay, you could lift the chin a little bit. That's good. So Mary Jo, you feel this is a quad stretch too. Good. When you're ready to come out of it, slowly coming out of it, and coming to sit on the tuffet. Technical term. Okay, so because of my audio, I'm just gonna stay up here near the computer, and you guys are gonna do all the work. Okay, so coming to sit, we'll take the legs out into a V shape. Take the legs out into a V shape in a seated posture. So come to sit there, Ted. And see how this would feel to bring the fingertips onto the earth right in front of you. Keeping a nice long spine, and Larry says, no, that's not happening, that's fine. You have that hands behind you for support. Head, you too are gonna bring the arms behind you and keep the heart lifted. And this is probably more than enough stretch for the insides of the legs. Maybe you can start to fold forward a tiny bit, right? We're working on this one, Walt. This is one of the areas you are, one of your goals is to bring some more flexibility into the hips and these inside muscles on the thighs. See if you can breathe here. And if you're somebody who has osteoporosis today, you're caring for that, maybe you don't round the back. Okay, maybe you don't round the back. Yeah, that's good adjustment. And then you're slow traveling up. When you're ready, you could go ahead and bring the soles of the feet together. Allow the knees to drift apart. This is another one that's going to build some of that flexibility in those places we were talking about, Walter. Maybe you have the hands behind you to support this. That might feel a little bit better, Larry. Maybe you have a little space to travel forward. If you're caring for your low back, maybe you stay lifted as well. Maybe you give your feet a little massage. Good. Well, I really do think I see the knees a little bit farther down than when you first started. this posture. So I see some progress there for sure. All right, guys, if it's in your practice, go ahead and come onto the back. Lie down onto your back. There you're going to do a few of the things that you normally do, twists and more leg stretches, okay? Coming onto the back, gently hug the knees into the chest if you're not already there. And give a little rock from side to side. Really good job coming to yoga today. Plant the feet down on the earth, about hips width distance apart. If you like using a block or bridge pose, maybe that's something you grab. So we're coming into bridge pose, the feet on the earth, knees, hips width distance apart. You could grab onto the edges of the mat today or use robot arms, right? Whatever feels best. Lifting the hips and heart up off the earth. Careful that the knees, if you're not using blocks, don't flare out from the hips. So bringing those knees a little closer together. Good, lifting the hips, maybe another camel pose, Larry, if you like that. That's good, Judy, yes. Maybe today you come up onto your tiptoes. Lifting from the low back, middle back, and upper back. Maybe the feet coming a little closer together, Walt. Just, walking the feet a little closer. And then when you're ready, slow travel all the way down, one vertebra at a time. You could stretch the arms overhead. If you used a block, you could take the block on the way out. Take the block out on the way up. And then bring some space between your feet. And just wash the feet from side to side. Wash the knees from side to side. Loosening the hip flexors. And once again, those quads getting a little bit of a stretch. Very good. Once again, we'll hug the knees into the chest. It's good, Larry. I like reverse tabletop. It's tough pose. So do pulses. Keep the right leg hugged in and press the left leg long. All the way down, resting the left heel on the earth. Maybe you circle the ankle on the right foot. Can you just take a breath while you're here? Grabbing onto the back of the right thigh. Push the foot up towards the ceiling. Maybe the leg straightens, maybe it doesn't. Not straightening, that's okay. Pushing the leg into the hands and pulling the leg back with the hands. Big breath in. Good, hugging the knee back into the chest and then opening the right knee out to the right, just a little bit. Maybe you use just the right hand to hug that right knee up into the shoulder, and that left arm reaches to the left. Yeah, this is a good one for you, Walt. Big breath in. Beautiful, Judy. Come on back to center and switch sides. Hugging the left leg in. Pressing the right leg long. Very good, Ted. Good control. Circling the ankle a few times. And then grabbing onto the back of that left thigh. Pushing the foot up towards the sky. Maybe the leg straightens, maybe it doesn't. Maybe you're working towards that, but don't force it. When you're ready, hug the knee back in and gently encourage some opening to the left. while you reach to the right with the right arm. That's good, Vicky. It's real gentle. Don't go as far as you can go. Just a little bit. Perfect. And coming back to center, we'll hug both knees in one last time. Good. Plant both feet down. Feet together, knees together. Feet together, knees together. Drop both knees to the right side. Arms reaching out. See if you can keep that left shoulder on the earth. Gaze anywhere that feels natural or neutral for you. Always an option to rest a block under the knees on the right. We're just going to take some breaths here. This too feels like maybe a little bit of a quad stretch. Very gentle spinal twist. It's good, Larry. Coming back through center. Feet together, knees together, dropping both knees to the left. Maybe the right shoulder can stay down on the earth. Maybe you need a block to support this. Taking some breaths and letting go a little bit of your practice today. Traveling back through center and making any other movements the body's asking for. Anything at all that your body might need in this moment, and that could mean just moving right to Shavasana. Maybe there isn't more to do. Maybe it's or scissoring of the legs. Good. So we're going to come to lie down now, if that's in your practice today. It's a really nice posture, Larry. Beautiful. So you're going to take the meditation route instead. Coming to support yourself in whatever way you need for relaxation. Something under the knees, something under the neck. Just beginning to let go. Resting the arms at the sides with the palms facing up, encouraging this gentle opening of the heart. And see if you can gather your awareness now towards the space in the chest that you might think of when you think of, this is me. When you introduce yourself and you say, my name is, and you rest your hand on that sternum. So bringing your awareness to the area at the heart. Be taking some breaths, easeful breaths into this space. And sending this loving kindness to yourself in this moment. May I be safe. Repeating this internally in your own mind while breathing into the heart space. May I be safe. May I be free from pain. Still breathing into the heart space, sending this loving kindness to yourself. May I be free from pain. May I be free from worry. Into the heart space. May I live with ease. Finding this loving kindness coming right into your own heart. Still just resting in your Shavasana. And then turning the awareness out to all beings everywhere. May all beings everywhere be safe. May all beings everywhere be free from pain. Sending your awareness out with compassion. May all beings everywhere be free from worry. May all beings live with ease. Slowly coming out of your Shavasana, wiggling the fingers and toes, going to keep this stay here as long as you like. But when you're ready, taking a breath or two and immediately up in a seated posture. You can give yourself a hug, laying on the side on the way there. Coming to that nice tall posture, finding your seat. Hands to heart center if it's in your practice today. Perhaps creating the sound and vibration of one single Om together. Inhaling for Om.